The Truman Show, starring Jim Carrey, is a film that many people would never expect another person to experience, but in these days, it is seen plenty of ways. It was released in the United States on June 5th, 1998, and was directed by an Australian film director, Peter Weir. If you are into films that have crazy twists and turns and unknown outcomes, you'll surely enjoy watching The Truman Show. At the beginning of the film, we are introduced to Truman Burbank, a small-town, friendly neighborhood insurance agent who, unbeknownst to him, is the star of his own 24/7 television series broadcast around the entire world. He begins his daily routine of driving to work. As he's making his daily drive to work, small things are occurring that he has never even realized. We, the audience, are viewing all of it through hidden cameras strategically placed throughout his town, which is the set of the TV series. His day continues and realizes that something isn't what it seems. He just doesn't know what that may be. The character, Truman Burbank, was a controversial character to cast. Many actors were considered for the role, but director Peter Weir cast Jim Carrey for the role after seeing him in the film Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Weir is said to have seen similarities in Carrey and Charlie Chaplin, and that is what made him cast him as Truman Burbank. A few days go by, and strange events continue to occur, causing Truman to review his daily routine. He soon realizes that the sequence of driving to work, walking the streets, and even the people who are closest to him are exactly the same every day. For example, he tunes the radio in his car to a different frequency and can hear producers explaining each upcoming scene in which Truman participates. Truman realizes this sick trick, then decides to take things into his own hands in order to achieve self-control and answer to the unknown reality that is life that he has experienced every day up to this point. Truman was raised just like any other normal human being would, except all the people that he has ever had an interaction with have been hired, paid actors working for the director of the show, Christof. Throughout the film, Truman experiences loss, such as the loss of his dad, the loss of a love interest, which of whom tries to plead the truth to Truman, ultimately being taken out of the show and forced to watch it from her own home. He has a wife who only focuses on things Christof wants her to, such as promoting several products within the TV show, or talking to him in ways that will change the subject that he may be thinking about into something completely different in order to avoid him thinking about what is really going on behind his back.
Who are you talking to?
I've tasted other cocos. This is the best.
What the hell does this have to do with anything? Tell me what's happening!
Well, you're having a nervous breakdown. That's what's happening.
After several attempts of trying to prove that his reality is fake and that he is living in an unreal nightmare, Christof realizes what Truman is up to and does everything in his power to prevent him from realizing what his life has been for 30 years. It is then revealed that Truman, having been adopted by the network that Christof has worked for, was known and recognized worldwide and has millions of followers who tune in and watch. While the entire world is watching the TV show, Truman decides that it is time for him to try and regain self-control and escape the fantasy world he has lived in his whole life. He decides to leave his home late at night and does so successfully, so much so to the point of Christof sending one of Truman's friends out to look for him. Once it is obvious that Truman has escaped, Christof gets fed up and frustrated to the point of pulling the show off the air completely, leaving viewers at home and the audience completely stunned. The broadcast eventually resumes and shows Truman in the middle of the ocean inside a boat trying to escape his life. After many attempts of preventing Truman from achieving his goal, from the manipulation of weather to intense torture, Truman escapes the control of Christof, only to finally see what he has suspected is real. As he is floating in his boat, sailing away from the city, his boat ultimately ends up hitting an exterior wall of the TV show set, and he is faced with an intense moment of realization. He then gets out of the boat and is met with a staircase that leads to an exit door, the escape he has been trying to locate. Christof tries to convince him to stay and that everything he has ever experienced has been on set, and questioning him on why he would ever want to leave the perfect life that he was given.
speak. I can hear you.
Who are you?
I am the creator of a television show that gives hope and joy and inspiration to millions.
Then who am I?
You're the star.
Was nothing real?
You were real. That's what made you so good to watch. Listen to me, Truman. There's no more truth out there than there is in the world I created for you. Same lies. The same deceit. But in my world, you have nothing to fear. I know you better than you know yourself.
You never had a camera in my head.
You're afraid. That's why you can't leave. It's okay, Truman. I understand. I have been watching you your whole life. I was watching when you were born. I was watching when you took your first step. I watched you on your first day of school. The episode when you lost your first tooth. You can't leave, Truman. You belong here. With me. Talk to me. Say something. Say something, goddammit! You're on television! You're live to the whole world!
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.
Throughout the film, another unique concept of the movie was the way the cinematography was created. Many hidden cameras were set throughout areas of the film set in order to give the audience an intimate point of view into Truman's life. The overall look was influenced by television images, particularly commercials. Many shots have characters leaning into the lens with their eyes wide open, and the interior scenes are heavily lit because Weir wanted to remind viewers that in this world, everything was for sale. After watching this film for the first time, I can say that it is one of the most creative yet shocking films I've ever seen. I had never watched something that gave such a unique story and point of view that no one has experienced before, and to me, it was crazy. It has even developed a real medical condition known as Truman Show Syndrome, which is when a person or people believe that they are living in a reality show or that they are being constantly watched. I can remember times as a kid thinking to myself, what if there were a giant dome above us and we were being constantly watched? Crazy, I know, but watching this gives a sense of that possibility explored in such a creative way that fans of sci-fi content can enjoy. Film critic Roger Ebert was one of the most well-renowned film critics of all time until his death in 2013. He rated The Truman Show 4 out of 5 stars, saying, "I enjoyed The Truman Show on its levels of comedy and drama. I liked Truman in the same way I liked Forrest Gump, because he was a good man, honest and easy to sympathize with. But the underlying ideas made the movie more than just entertainment. Like Gattaca, the previous film written by Nickel, it brings into focus the new values that technology is forcing on humanity. Because we can engineer genetics, because we can telecast real lives, of course we must, right? But are these good things to do? The irony is, the people who will finally answer that question will be the very ones produced by the process." I believe anyone who is interested in the sci-fi genre, or people who question possibilities greater than we can ever know about, will absolutely love this movie. I also believe that any fan of Jim Carrey will appreciate the way he portrayed his character and the astounding job he did playing it.